Hey guys, I'm still making lighting changes instead of doing more unpacking and working on more important projects. So, short version is that I did end up putting some track lighting in my living room, even though I said I wasn't going to. I just put one 8-foot track over the valence there with 3 heads with 3 very minor LED bulbs in it. So it's a very small amount of track lighting for the room. And again, pardon our moving in mess, you don't see it. One of the track heads is aimed at that bookcase there. I had an uplight spotlight pointed on the bookcase just like I do over here. And yeah, so this way it can come from above. I wish there was a way to do it from above over here, but the only thing I could think of was to put another track light just along that thing there, and I just thought that would be too much. I figured this is good enough to have the uplight. Plus, it's kind of a cool uplight. It's a little antique brass, you know? I actually really thought this was cool when I found it. It almost looks like it could go to a fan or, you know. So I left that alone. But over there, the uplight comes from above, which is nice. And one's on the love seat, and one's focused on the couch. And there's a story here. So, when I first was doing the lights in here, before the uplights that were over here before the uplights on the bookcase, I know I had the light in the plant. Can't remember if I had those 2 uplights over there. I know I didn't have the spotlights. Before I had the table lamp and everything. Nia had commented that the whole room was uplit. And I can't remember how many videos I've talked about it before, but her dad has a thing for accent lights. Their house is just loaded with accent lights. If you look at the few videos I have of their house, they won't let me video the whole thing because they don't, just the same reason that Nia doesn't want me videoing the whole thing here. They don't feel like it's ready for video, even though to my eyes it looks great. But I've done some videos of the fans there. If you look at those videos, you can see all, you know, some of the accent lights in the background. But the rooms that don't have fans have even more. And so Nia grew up with a whole bunch of random accent lights in the house, and so that's part of what she likes, and part of why when I've always talked about how cool I thought it was when I was like, hey, I'm going to put this random light here, I'm going to put this, thing here. She, my past, girlfriends and stuff have always been like, why? And she was just like, oh, that makes sense to me, because that's the kind of thing that her dad would do. And then the thing that she taught me is about levels of lighting. The whole thing about putting a spotlight on a plant, that's her thing. She's done that in all of her houses that I know of. When we started dating, she had a plant similar to this, and that same spotlight that she got at a thrift store, 'cause she's big on thrifting too. Same spotlight on a similar plant. I think that plant ended up staying in Virginia. And so when we moved in together, that was one of the things that I did. I was like, okay, so let's put let's do her thing there. So I adapted that, and I started doing that at 12 wings. So you may notice all the plants at 12 wings have uplights on them. And then we only have 2 plants in here. Other ones here behind the move-in mess over there. But so that's her thing. And part of what she taught me about that is that I can't remember exactly how she put it, but levels of lighting. Some light should come from the floor and go up. Some light should be at eye level, like sconces and table lamps, and some light should come from the ceiling and go down, like track lighting or chandeliers or things of that nature. And so when she had said that, hey, all the lighting is uplighting, even though it's coming from different levels, some is on the floor level, some is near the ceiling, I took that to mean, hey, we don't have any task lighting. And so that I thought about it, and I already decided that I wasn't going to put any track lights on the ceiling here because I'm trying to minimize the amount of, marks on the ceiling and so on and so forth. And so I left that alone. And then today I was talking to, once again, the bad influence is Josh Mack, Bernie Mac Jr., and he made the same comment. This is, I'm just, I can't remember. I don't think I was doing anything today. I think I was just working on the computer. Oh, I did a hard reset on my phone, so I was chatting with people on Facebook while my phone reacclimated itself. And I'm still just in love with my torture lamp here. By the way, I did buy a chrome top bulb to go in it on Amazon Prime. It's only 60 watts. That's the brightest LED chrome top I could find. But I'm going to try that. Anything I put in here that's not chrome top or par is just too much glare when you're walking down the stairs. You see it right in your eyes. I've tried filament LEDs. I've tried reflector bulbs. I've tried everything, and it's just so much glare. But this, of course, doesn't really illuminate the shade. So we're going to try a chrome top bulb and a 60 watter and see how that looks. Yeah. So, anyhow, I was working on redoing my phone and talking to Josh, and he made the same comment. He said, there's no task lighting in your living room. And I said, yeah, it bothers me a little bit, and he had said the same thing. And he said, well, what about you use some of those mid-century floor lamps Target has? They got the things with the brass arms. There's some that have like one on a cantilever that hangs out. You can adjust it. And then there's some that have 3 brass heads on a single pole. And I was like, yeah, those would be really cool. Where would I put them? And he said, well, what about in there by the plant? And I thought it would look too crowded. But I figured I could try that. Buy them from Target, return them if they don't work. Or maybe even put one behind each sofa, like right in the middle. One right there. And have it hanging out over the sofa. And put, some LED bulbs in them and such. And so I sent the link to the Target thing, or maybe an eBay one similar or something like that, to Nia. And said, what do you think of this? And she said, I can't remember the exact words, but it was along the lines of, are you fucking kidding me? No more fucking lamps. Stop with the lamps already. Why are you still messing with lamps? No more lamps. And I said, baby, sweetness, how wonderful you are. You specifically said that you had took issue with the fact that all the light was uplighting. And she said, no, I didn't. I said, you said the whole living room was uplit. And she said, what I meant was, stop with the fucking uplights. So basically, she thinks I'm getting carried away with the lighting and has tried to stop me along every path. So, but it's not that easy to stop me. So, after thinking about it for a while, I had an idea, and I had this 1/8 foot track, and I said, well, what if I just kind of prop that along the wall behind the plant, in that corner there, and put like 3 track heads at the top, and point one towards each couch. I think I was only going to do 2 track heads. I think I was going to do one towards each couch and one towards the coffee table, or I don't remember, but I tried it, and it did not work. Oh, by the way, this is bothering me. Let me adjust this. This blind is crooked. And those of you guys who know me well know that I love Law & Order. There's an episode of Law & Order where some old lady's like, I'm not paying the rent until the landlord fixes the blinds. They're crooked. So that's what that made me think of. So anyhow, I tried that, and it did not work. And I said, well, why can't it just go up there? Because again, I'm trying not to put holes and stuff. I'm like, well, can I just balance it up there? And so I tried propping it up there. And I couldn't get it to prop, but it did seem like it was going to work. And this again goes back to Nia's parents, because in their family room. And again, I asked some of the fan collectors who've been there, because Daniel Groundwater, Mark Castro, and John Pernock have all been in Nia's parents' house, and they've seen all the accent lighting and stuff like that. And I don't know if Mark and John have spent enough time there to notice all of it, but Daniel certainly has. Daniel spent a lot of time there. So ask them if they remember it. And there's a family room. It's one of my favorite rooms there, that is all dark wood paneling, and then a white ceiling with dark wood beams, and then a big brick fireplace and plush carpet, and a million accent lights, and a bunch of built-in bookcases and cabinetry and stuff like that. And there's 2 very randomly placed sets of real 80s brass track lighting. And one is right in front of the entertainment center, and the other one is directly over the couch, much like this, on the wall, like not on the ceiling over the couch, but on the wall. And those are the only two light sources in there, other than the accent lights. And they're both on dimmers, and they're both usually set to very dim. And so this was kind of inspired by that, because I thought that, I mean, I love everything about their house except for the rooms that don't have ceiling fans. But that room is really cool. Their living room is really cool. Their sunroom is really nice. Dining room is really nice. And then you guys have probably seen the 5-fan master bedroom, which is a work of art in and of itself. And so yeah, I thought that maybe Nia wouldn't object to this, since it's basically the same thing at her parents' house. And I think she's been down here and seen it and just kind of rolled her eyes. But yeah, so what I did was I took the two uplights there was one uplight down there pointing up and one over there pointing up. And I did that because I thought that the room was just too cold. There's all these cool white fluorescent lights over here on a white wall, and I just felt like the overall ambiance of the light in the room was too cold, and I wanted to warm it up. And the way to have warm lighting is to point light at warm things. I could change all those to warm white bulbs, but it's still going to be a white wall. And it's really not the issue that they're cool white bulbs. Warm white bulbs would not be that big of a difference. So what I wanted to do was put light on the brown stuff, which is the blinds and the bookcases. So that's when I put the spotlights in the bookcases. And that's when I put the uplights in the blinds. And it warmed up the room tremendously. But I felt like it was kind of weird overkill to have an uplight on the plant and uplight on the blind pointing right at the track light, and then another uplight at the blinds on that end pointing right at the track light. Basically, you had two lights pointing at each other. And so I eliminated those, and then because I have now a spotlight coming down on that bookshelf, I eliminated that. So it is the same amount of lights, just moved, and yet it seems... It definitely seems brighter in here because now there's task lighting on the two couches, which is really the only place you'd need it other than, again, don't look at the mess, my dad's chair, which I've often told the story that my dad would nap in a easy chair, or lazy boy, as we called it, all through my childhood. That's what dads do in my mind, is they nap in a recliner. And so I had to have my dad chair for when Abby's here. And, yeah, so that was my thing. If I put a track light over the thing there, I could point one at the bookshelf and one at the dad's chair. But that, again, seemed overkill, seeing as I have the lamp there and the uplight there, and both of those are staying. And, again, that's still, that's kind of an awkward thing, because then that one doesn't have track lighting. And, yeah, I just wanted to leave it alone. So I'm still looking at that, like, what else can I do about that? Because that bookshelf looks... better lit. It'll be different when they have things in them, but still, that bookshelf looks, less lit than this one. And I've tried different beam spreads on the LED bulbs. These are spots. I've tried floods, and it doesn't make a difference. The spot is best, because otherwise with the flood, you just get light on the sides of the bookshelf. So, yeah. So, only thing I'm going to do left that I can think of, unless I find some more accent lights. One thing I kind of want to do, and I played with it earlier today, is put an accent light on this little, you can't see it, hold on. Put a little accent light on this table, at the bottom of the stairs there, that I bought to, like, set my keys on and stuff when I come in the door. And I tried an uplight there, and that was silly. But some little leaded glass thing that sits there would be really cool. And there's no outlet there, but it would be easy enough for me to run a cord discreetly up through there and hang out with the plant light there. That's Nia's thrift store plant spotlight that she's so proud of. She loves that thing. So, yeah. So, who knows? Maybe I'll get something for that. I don't know. I want to have a light on every surface. And that's why she's making fun of me. There's that. I'm going to get a chrome top bulb. Oh, because I just knocked over a mop. I switched this to a smaller uplight because this was one of the ones that was going up on the blinds, and now I didn't need it there, so this seemed more appropriate. I can't remember what you guys saw before, but this is now an LED bulb. And don't look at the mess, don't look at the mess, don't look at the mess. We're still moving in. This is now an LED bulb. And don't think I did this in yesterday's videos, but somebody played taps because I retired the preheat CFLs. This is now an LED bulb, and that's now an LED bulb, and it's always been LED in the plants. And I know a lot of people will be sad to see the preheat CFLs go. I am sad to see them go. I just needed more light. When I put this lamp here, then it was obvious that that was still CFL, so then that had to become LED. And it was obvious that this was still CFL, so that had to become LED. And then when I did that, it was just glaringly less light here. So I needed more light. Preheat CFLs do not put out a lot of light. And the other thing was that these baffles, or whatever these things are that I love so much about these uplights, do not did not fit over the preheat CFL, so I just had to balance them in there. But with the LEDs, they fit in there fully. Also, one of the preheat CFLs wouldn't start every time, so I knew it was on its way out anyways, and I was already kind of planning what I was going to do. But I hastened that, and I'm sad. I want to find a use for them, but more important than that, I want to have the light look the way I want it to look. So, and other than the lighting, and I've been working on the music room, is pretty much all I've been doing as far as unpacking and stuff like that. I'm waiting on Nia to do more stuff in the kitchen because I don't know what her system is for the kitchen yet. Like, I've tried to do the dishes, and I'm like, I can't figure out where this pot's supposed to go because she's got her system, you know. But she works a lot, and she's got her beauty room, and she's putting YouTube videos up, and she puts a lot of time in on that stuff, so there hasn't been a lot of time. And so, you know, I've just been working on my projects in the meantime and, you know, trying to get this room together. So I'm loving my accent lights down here. Next up for me is to get the desktop computer set up and all the studio gear set up. Nobody probably cares about this, but I got a bunch of these storage ottomans. I'm going to put one there, obviously, and then a smaller one on either side of the computer. Just to store cords and stuff in, and yeah. So, but I'm really excited with the the accent lighting. I think the little fixtures. I'd love to get some more leaded glass accent lights and just chrome top this whole room out. But working on it. There's Prince. Hi, Prince. So. Yep, and then I'm very happy to have the half pipes in the garage. Every time I go in there, I get happy because I get to look at half pipes and ceiling fans, which is like the greatest combination of things ever. And so, and then that floor lamp is awesome. Did I mention that already? So, can't really see the fan good no matter what I do. Could be because it's a dark fan on a white ceiling, or it could just be I don't know, but I'm, yeah, it's just a dark silhouette. But I'm pleased with how this turned out. And the only other thing I've thought about doing, but it'd just be so much trouble, is having the fluorescent lights on a different switch so that I can do this, which changes the atmosphere in here. I'm going to leave the one behind the TV on for now because that makes a big difference. And then especially if I go over here and do this, that's much more chill in here. It's pretty chill to begin with. It's not a bright room, which is what Nia wants. But definitely, let's turn the one off behind the TV. Did I tell you these are an LED? I can't remember if I put that in the video. Everything's LED now except for the preheats. And not the preheat CFLs. Yeah, so that's a much darker room. And I mean, it wouldn't be that hard. Wire, but how would I control them separately? I don't want to do a separate learning remote just for fluorescent lights, because the fan portion wouldn't do anything. These aren't dimmable LEDs anyway, so there'd be no point in like having, things on a dimmer. In fact, not a single one of these LEDs is dimmable, and that was done by design because I wasn't planning on dimming them. I didn't realize just how much of the light in here comes from the fluorescence. Oh no, I turned off those lights too. Those make a huge difference. But it's definitely, now that I have the track lighting, it's definitely very different in here with the fluorescence. So yeah, I wish there was a way to have two light buttons on one remote, like a receiver that does both, but I know the learning remotes don't do that. And then the only switched outlet is the torchlight lamp, and the uplight's over there, which is just the weirdest place for a switched outlet. I'm thinking about it, but I'd really just have to have just a random switch somewhere for them. And again, it wouldn't be that hard to do, but I'm going to think about it. One thing I could do is I could still have it all on the learning remote, and then just have one switch up there that just does the fluorescence. Like I said, the hardest thing I'd have to do would be to run a second wire, but that's not that hard to do. There are harder things to do than that. I'm going to think about it, because I would like a way. I mean, I can go and turn them off all individually like that, but how often am I going to do that when I'm not, demonstrating that? But I'm going to think about it. I could do X10, but I already have X10, if I was going to do X10 here, I would use dimmable LEDs, and then they have those. But I already be using both my X10 controllers upstairs, so I'd have to get a different controller. And then I'd have to set it on a different house code, or I don't know, because I like this without the fluorescence. You know what? Let's just see. Okay, again, you're not seeing my mess, but these two things of laundry have been here literally since we... See, now that is bright. What I would actually love to do is have the fluorescence on the switch with the uplight and the pedestal lamp, the floor lamp. Because I don't see that I would have... Those are just so bright. Let's see, if I turn this off, is it still... Where's the switch? So that's the bright one. That makes a big difference. So if I get my chrome top bulb in there, that could change the game entirely. Preheat CFLs on it, not preheat, not CFLs, preheat strip lights, or whatever they're called, on a different switch. I'm going to think about how to do that. Because running the wire wouldn't be hard, just another wire under there. But the question is how to control them. I could do another learning remote. Don't shut off Law and Order. I could do another learning remote. Yeah, that would be a pain. I was saying have that fan controlled by it and then these lights. But no. Would there be any reason why I would have the lights and not the couch lights? I don't know. There's the fan. Hi, fan. You look beautiful. So it's those fluorescent lights that really take away the ability to film that, because it's a little bit filmable now. This has definitely been my longest video about nothing. So I'm not gonna lie, I kind of want to do another learning remote just for the preheats. Have one for the preheats and one for the other thing I'm thinking about is keeping them all in the same one and then having just like a switch somewhere over there that turns them all on and off. And the only downside to that is that my wife would never use it. She would leave it however I last had it set, because she doesn't like messing with my controls. Even though I try my best to explain to her, this is, you know, how you control that, and don't be scared, it's not scary, you know. That's another thing I would, if I got to change anything at her parents' house besides putting in fans, I would wire all the accent lights to like X10 or something like that, because right now everyone just has its own switch, so either they all stay on or they have to all be turned on and off individually, which is, you know, it's funny, it seems very bright when I show over there. It's actually not very bright in here right now. It's quite dim. You're quite dim. So I'm gonna figure out a way to do it. I want to have the way to have the fluorescence on a different switch. I just wish there was a switched outlet back on that wall, and I did take the cover off the outlets to see if by some chance, like, one of them had a wire to be switched but wasn't being switched, but that was not the case. But I'm gonna figure out a way to do it, because all the LEDs can be on a thing, and then all the fluorescents can be on a thing. Okay, I've rambled enough. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do yet. I'm leaning towards keeping it all on the same learning remote and then just having like a separate switch for the fluorescents, because I'm never going to want the fluorescents on and not the LEDs, because the you know, I don't see why that would be a thing that would happen. Would it? Maybe if somebody was sitting on the couch and was like, this is too bright. I don't know. I blame Nia's parents, Josh, and Jonas for all of the different lighting stuff. Okay. So what I'd actually like to do is have a switch box somewhere with 3 switches. Track lighting, other LEDs, and the fluorescents, and just have them all controlled off of that. I'm going to figure out how to do it, and it's going to be huge. Okay. Thanks for watching.